it seems to me like there's a misconception that you have to be someone else in order to reach new people, right? Like you have to pretend to be someone different. You
Mm.
have to put on a whole fucking face or like speak in a certain way. It could not be further from the truth. So this begs the question, how do you reach new people? How do you reach new people with social media? How do you get new people to see your shit? There are many different ways. There are many different ways and many different subsets of each way, but I'm going to say there are two general ways right now, like two overarching. Number one is through paid advertising, which you do not need to do. And the other is through organically getting more people to see your stuff. Cool. So let's go into the organic method. How do you organically get people to see your stuff? Well, number one is, I think the most overlooked way is just getting people who already follow you to share what you're posting. Because if someone who already follows you shares what you posted, any one of their followers who sees it is essentially getting a referral to you. That's what that means. And I personally am not the biggest fan of saying, "Hey, please share this." I'm not the biggest fan of that. Ironically, recently I just did that on a post. I'm actually going to read this caption to you. I'm going to read this caption, and this is going to be like legitimately the most authentic thing you've heard in this caption. So I shared a post. I thought this was a genius post. So basically, because I have a baby and I see so much baby content, my Explore feed is filled with baby content. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing this little clip right now. If you're not watching on YouTube, and you're listening on the podcast, please leave us a 5-star review with a written review on the podcast because we'd appreciate it. But if you want to watch us and see our faces, definitely look on YouTube. Anyway, you can see this kid moving all over his parents. His parents are trying to sleep. He's moving all over the place. And I made a video being like, if you're ever wondering why you used to be able to eat so much and not gain weight, but now you eat the same amount and you are gaining weight, well, this is one reason why. When you're younger, you're moving a lot more. I'm going to read you my caption. It's a very brief caption. And I just wrote, if you've ever wondered why you used to be able to eat whatever you wanted without gaining weight, but now you so much as look at a carb and gain 20 pounds, watch this whole video, don't skip around. And then I wrote, leave a comment telling me how much you loved it. I'm needy. Share it on your story and tell your friends and family they need to follow me because I'm a short, funny, bald guy who tells it like it is. Thank you. So I rarely ask people to share my work or to leave a comment because I think it's obnoxious when they do. But when I do it, I'm also very honest about it. Like the reason you're asking someone to leave a comment is not because you're like, oh, I'm so interested in what you have to say. You're asking them to leave a comment because you want more engagement, right? So when I said leave a comment telling me how much you loved it, like that's really, I'm saying I'm needy. Like, please, like do this for me. I'm needy. And then also share it on your story. And when you ask people to share it on your story, you're not just saying like, hey, just share this like without any, like you're saying share it on your story so that you can tell people how great I am and how much you love following me because you want then their followers to follow you as well. So I made a joke about it, but I literally said exactly the reason why I wanted them to share it and why I wanted them to comment, which I think is just the pinnacle of, it's like you're being yourself. You're just being truthful with them. Listen, I could have just been like, hey, listen, if you could leave a comment, it's really going to help my business. And if you could share this, that would also help my business. I could have said that. I tried to use humor as a way to break the ice a little bit, but I was still very upfront and honest about it. So I think the best way to organically get more people to see your content is to get people to share it. And one way to get people to share it is to ask like I did, but you can only do that so many times because it's going to lose its uniqueness very quickly if you just do that every single time. So the other great way to get people to share your content is just to make really good content. And I know it's very annoying to hear that, but it would sort of be like, I think a lot of coaches approach making content like people who go to the gym consistently but don't really put in effort struggle to get results. You know, there's some people who go to the gym. Maybe it's a client, maybe it's just someone you see at the gym. They go, they run through the motions, but really they're just talking to people the whole time. They're talking, they're starting up conversations, and that's amazing. They're having a wonderful time. It's a great part of their day. It's a good community. But if that person was also complaining that they're not getting stronger and complaining that they're not losing weight and complaining that their cardio isn't improving and all this, you'd be like, well, listen, you're chatting for 54 minutes and you're actually working out for 6. So like, of course, you're not actually getting results. I think that's how a lot of coaches approach their social media. With their social media, they're really not putting in as much effort as they think they are. Yeah, they're taking the time to post, they're making a shitty tweet post or whatever it is, or maybe you're sort of essentially plagiarizing someone else's shit and you're going to try and put it under your own name, but you're not really spending time making it great content. And I think the platforms don't lie. If it's really good content, the platform knows it's really good content because people are watching it, people are consuming it. And so if your shit isn't being shared, odds are it's just not good content, and you need to do it really consistently and make great content.
Yeah. And two things here. One, when Jordan says really good content, what he means is content that resonates well with your audience and a potential audience. There was a big controversy in the poker world recently, and I was listening to this Twitter Spaces, and one of the guys is a content creator, and they were talking about like, is good content like something that, like from an artistic perspective, that you feel like is an honest expression of who you are and what you are, like, because that's where one guy was coming from in terms of definition of good content. But the guy who's kind of under fire is like, this is a business. Like, I make content for my business. So I measure good based on views, based on reach, based on watch time, based on engagement, like based on how people react to it. Like this content is an arm of the business. So when Jordan says good, how it's received is the metric of good versus bad. And two, another reason to make really good content is not only because people will want to share it even without being asked, but these apps are going to prioritize it for new audience. So if you make something really good that people are hammering the like button, people are watching entire videos, people are sharing it a ton, not only will it pop up for the people who it's being shared to directly, right? I post something, Jordan puts it on his story because he thought it was so good, and then people who follow Jordan see it. Sure, that's one method, but also Instagram's prioritizing it, putting it in front of people who don't currently follow you. And that was Explore, and now it's like within the main feed as well. So taking a lot of shots, right? You're not going to score goals if you don't take shots. Putting a lot of pucks on net, and then becoming better at shooting through that process are ways, Emmy, that you're going to reach new audience with your content.